Why do you feel, Avi, that your life irrevocably changed that day?
And all of our lives, in a sense, have been irrevocably changed. I think that the anti-Semitism, the hatred, the desire to destroy us, at least that's of course how Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, these terror organizations speak. It was always there. I think that the difference now is over the last 3-4 weeks that people have really woken up to it, because it's become so much louder and so much distinct, and they've also acted upon it in such a brutal way. So I think that what's changed really here is just the awareness that most people previously didn't have, because they assumed that maybe it's not as bad as it is, or maybe it doesn't really exist, or maybe there's a way to still achieve that normalcy. And I think that October 7 was that watershed moment, not just for us here in Israel, but for Jews all over the world.
Can I add something to that? You know, I spoke to someone recently and we were both saying we're both Jewish, but we're both civil libertarians. We've worked for humanitarian causes all of our lives across every single religious observance and ethnic divide. And we were under this impression that if we just loved enough, if we just gave enough, if we just were a light unto the nations, if we were exemplary in our moral code and in our conduct, then the rest of the world would like us, love us, tolerate us. But for some of us, we're feeling very, very shattered at the moment, because that did not seem to ever be enough.
Yeah, and I definitely think that Jews in particular have been so shocked, because historically Jews have always been at the forefront of that intersectionality of, you know, being an ally for like other oppressed groups, like all of the Jews that marched together with Martin Luther King, all the Jews that marched against the apartheid, the Jews that marched together with like LGBTQ rights, Black Lives Matter. Like Jews always, because they are, say, the quintessential minority that have experienced 2,000 years of anti-Semitism, they always felt that they had to stand up for others. And I think that the great shock right now is that when in our time of need, we find ourselves so alone. And that all the people that we stood up for, all those allies that we stood up for, are now nowhere to be seen, and some of them have even turned against us. So I think that sense of betrayal has been really confounding for many, for many Jews, particularly on the progressive side of politics, who have been so active in the human rights movement, in like that civil libertarian movement.